Hello, welcome to another video. I'm going to get straight into it. This is 20 backpacking, hiking, camping tips. Not bushcraft or woodland stuff per se. I was thinking about this on my last long distance hike. I was thinking about tips that I've picked up on my journey through the many long distance trails and nights spent in my tent. So I wanted to share a few with you. You might be able to extract a few nuggets from the 20 tips that I'm going to give you. So let's get straight into it in no particular order. Let's deal with pegs first, and tip number one. Tip number one is double pegging. If you're caught in a storm, high winds, or you plan on, if you're one of these guys that looks at the weather forecast, sees that there's a storm and heads straight off to the top of a mountain to risk both yourself and mountain rescue, this one's for you. Hey up, dog in a muddy puddle, brilliant. This one's for you. You can use a peg, go in at a 45-degree angle as you would with your normal pegs. Then most pegs have a bit of dyneema or a bit of cord on the outside. Use that, go through again with another peg at a 45-degree angle and double up your pegs. What I normally do is double them up on the corners of my tent to strengthen it. Nimbus, come and say hello. Do you want to say hello to the dog? He's a bit muddy. Come here. Alright, fair enough. Here he is. Good boy. Yay, thank you, mate. Good lad, because you don't want them to think we don't like to have a kiss. Come here. Also, I've noticed this on a few videos. I've got a hole in my... I won't show you now because it's graphic content, but got a hole in my keg so you can see my underpants. I was going to put a bit of gaffer tape on it before video started, but I'll maybe do it by the end of this video. I'll have gaffer tape over this hole, cakes. We've been derailed. This was supposed to be a professional video about 20 camping tips. 20! And now look, we're on deck with a muddy dog. That's ADHD for you, innit? To do it from down here like I'm at a bar. Derailed it, absolutely derailed. So, yeah, you can double up your pegs on each corner of your tent. Just gives it a little bit of strength. It's something that I've utilised when I'm out and about. So if I'm doing a long distance hike, maybe take 4 extra pegs just to peg out your corners with doubles. Staying with the peg theme, these are just real simple tips actually. They're not groundbreaking, but they're stuff that I use all the time. Of a morning, it can be hard to get your pegs out, so just use one peg to get the rest of the pegs out. Put it through the string, fingers either side of it, and pull it out. It'll be a lot easier for you, especially if the ground's got a bit frozen or it's a bit tough, clayey and grippy. It's easier of the morning just to take them out like that. Staying with pegs. When you pack your tent away, leave one peg in the ground attached to the corner of your tent. This will serve 2 purposes, so this is a 2-for-1er. So your tent won't turn into an expensive kite with no cord on it. If the wind blows, a gust catches it, it'll keep it anchored to the ground. And also it makes putting your tent away a lot easier, so you can elevate your tent off the ground and you can roll it up and use the tent peg as tension at the other side, just like you were rolling it up with your mate or something. And you can get a real nice tight tent roll, and that'll help you pack it away better. Right, as I said, my knees are just absolutely clarted, brother. They're all wet. Who's getting shot? I know what I'll do. I'll use this. Not for you, mush. I'll use that to kneel on. I should have done this at the beginning. I didn't expect to be sort of doing it like this, but this is how it's happened. And sometimes you just have to go with it, don't you, buddy? Wait, get up, put your paws up here, that'll look good. Right, watch this then for Dr. Dolittle. Sit. Got him, see? Trained. Nimbus, sit. Don't even need to look, watch. Nimbus, sit. Paw. High five. Roll over. Round the world. Knuckles. Lick it. High five. Boink. Dr. Dolittle, eat your heart out. Anyhow. What have I said about sticks? We're not allowed to play with sticks anymore because the internet told me it was bad. And he's off. As I say, no... Why is this weird that I'm doing it like this? Does it look weird? It's what I'm doing now. It feels comfortable. I feel like this is like I'm at a desk. The next tip is tying your shoelace. A lot of people tie... I mean, it's basic, and I'm sorry if I'm teaching you to... I don't want to teach you to suck eggs. I don't even get what that meaning is. I don't want to teach your grandma to suck eggs. What does that even mean? I don't want to teach you to suck eggs. I don't want to teach you to suck eggs, but what you want to do is you want to get an egg, open your mouth. Shoelaces. So a lot of people don't tie the shoelaces properly, and when you're doing long distance hiking, your shoelaces coming undone is a pain in the shins. So what you want to do is this. I made a video of this not so long back, so we'll cut to this. The usual way of tying shoelaces, we go across like that, we create a loop, we go round, through, and then pull it on its side. And then often people will do a double, but the problem with that is it's not quick release, and it can be a bit of a pain to get off, especially if you've got cold fingers. And with this knot, it's really simple. We're just tying it over again like that, create the loop, we go round, pull it through, give yourself a little bit more of a loop there than the other side, and then we go round and through there again, and there it is. It's pretty simple. Now that won't work its way undone, and it's also quick release. So again, over the top, a loop, we go round, through, and then we're going through again. Quick release. And there it is. And this is a real simple one, and it's just a different way of tying your shoelaces, so they very rarely, if ever, come undone. Shall we sit back up here, look, because I've got props. Bread bags. Anyone who's watched my channel for a while will know how I champion bread bags. But check this out, this is the new bread bags. I found these are even sturdier. You can pick them up, they're freezer bags. These are from Co-op, but you can get them from anywhere. Freezer bags, they've even got a little Ziploc thing on here. So you can use them for different things, like putting your electrics in, or whatever you want to do. Then when you get to camp with your wet socks, you take your wet socks off, dry your feet, put your nice dry socks on. Then if you need to leave the tent for any reason, this goes over your dry sock, into your wet shoe slash boot slash croc slash clog. And hey presto, no wet feet, yet you can still walk around. And it saves you on weight taking any crocs or sandals or extra camp shoes. And you just got that, it doesn't weigh much at all. Can go in your bag, nice one. Next tip, use these flat sponges. You can get them in bulk and they last a long time. They're very light, they can slide down the back of your pack, you don't know they're there. And they're perfect for, on a morning, just wiping down the inside of your tent, getting rid of all that condensation and wringing them out. They're so lightweight, and no one wants to be putting away a wet tent and then getting it out at the end of the day, because it gets all over your floor, then your mat and everything goes on the floor. So I just spend 10 minutes of a morning using my sponge, wiping it all down, wringing it out, because it saves on weight and it keeps you comfy and it keeps you dry. I'll leave a link for these below. I mean, you know what they are, they're just sponges, but I'll leave a few links for stuff that I've mentioned on here below if you want to go and check them out. Next tip, I'm just doing them all from here, hope you don't mind. Hiking pole length. If you are a long distance hiker and you use hiking poles, and maybe you've got a hiking pole tent, as I do, I've found this is really useful. You can use a marker pen, or with these, just scratch it in. So it's always marked at the perfect place to set your tent up at its optimum height. So say that is it, that is it. It sets it up perfectly for my Lanshan 2. So I use these as my hiking length, and then when I get to camp, I don't need to do anything. I don't need to adjust the length. I know that because it's on these marks, it's perfect for my Lanshan 2. And you can put different marks for your different tents. That's just my go-to perfect pitch. If it's a lot windier and I want to lower it, I just bring it a little bit below that mark, but that mark is my optimum tent height, and that's on my hiking poles. Sticking with hiking poles, so they have an L and an R on here for left and right, but it's annoying to look at these. You want to put some gaffer tape around your pole on one side, so I always know that the side with the tape on is in my left hand, so I don't have to rummage around in here looking for the left and right. I just see it's got the tape on, pick it up, left hand, off. And also, let's debunk. So, we recently debunked the airbed getting mouldy. I just want to debunk something else for you here and now. Another reason why you would put this gaffer tape around your hiking pole is that you don't want to carry a full roll of gaffer tape with you, but it's handy to have some because it can fix your down jacket, your sleeping bag, your airbed, your tent. It's very useful. But I've heard a lot of people say that you should change out your gaffer tape or not put it on your hiking pole, because if you're hiking in hot weather, then all of the tape melts together and you can't get it off. Now, that's not true, because I've had this on here. I've never had to use this, or never had to use all of it. I think I used a little bit of it on one of my old jackets. So I've had this on here since I got these, so it's been on for years. See? Still sticky, still perfect. I'm not even going to take it off there because it's been on for ages. I'll leave it. And some people might say, oh yeah, because you live in England it's not hot. I've had these out on the hottest recorded days that England's ever had. I think it was over like 34, 35 degrees in a heat wave a couple of times with these, and nothing, still going good. Keep having to move along this log because the sun keeps blasting me. It's not a bad thing to have. This is the first nice day we've had in a long time. It's been very difficult with working outside. It's been wet as. I think once in my life I've gone up a mountain knowing that it was going to be raining to get some to test out my Hillyberg Alac 2, but the amount of people I see now online, just the titles of it's just got so extreme. Storm whatever it's called, Storm Bovril. Went out camping in Storm Bovril in a pop-up Barbie tent. It's just getting more and more extreme now, and I'm out. I can't keep up with it. I don't mind. It does good numbers. Good luck to everyone. I'm happy to be in my own lane, be safe, and not put mountain rescue at risk as well. It's very irresponsible. Anyway, let's get back to top tips. That's not what it's about. For hiking, summer hiking, is get yourself a cheap pair of running shorts, the ones with the liner on the inside. And my top tip is just take some scissors or take your knife and cut out the liner. Get rid of gusset, and it just gives you so much air and freedom to wear a high-end pair of boxer shorts like duds. So get yourself some nice merino wicking underwear, cut out the liner and just have them over the top. It is so much better for your junk or whatever sex you are. It's just better for everything down there. Better for your thighs, better well no, actually I can't speak for females actually. I don't know. But as a bloke with junk, I can tell you that if you cut this out and just wear a decent pair of underpants, it is a lifesaver, because these liners get right up in you and can cause chafing, and it's just not very comfortable, especially if you've got a pair of duds on as well. So top tip is get a cheap pair of running shorts, cut the liner out. Don't spend the money on the shorts, spend the money on your underpants, because they're the things that are going to be touching your skin. Hey up! Captain Underpants is back. Where have you been? Why have you got mud on your forehead? So yeah, top tip, cheap pair of running shorts, cut the liner out, get some nice undies, and there you go, you're good to go. These are my top tips around camping meals. Most camping meals, I'll have one of them little sachets in it to stop the moisture, and it's always a bit rough when you find it, when you forget to take it out, and you find it in the bottom of your dinner once you finish your dinner. And the top tip to find that, if you just shake the bag up and down, eventually, there you go, it works its way to the top. Just a gentle, like look, if I just bury that right at the bottom, cover it over, right at the bottom. So instead of rummaging around there with your spoon or whatever, give it a little shake. There you go, look, and it'll work its way right to the top. So staying on the theme of camping meals, what you want to do is fill this with hot water, seal it, and then you get 8 minutes before you eat it. It says leave it 8 minutes. You can leave this a good 15, 20 and it'll still be hot. But what you want to do in winter is once that's full up, up your granddad's jumper, mate. Get it up your granddad's jumper and just hold it. Just hold on to it for dear life. Because this is the boiler room. This is the boiler room. This is where all your good stuff is, all your organs and that. And if you just put it up your jumper, hold on to it like that, it'll just heat you. And it's probably the best 10-15 minutes you'll have in winter in your tent on your own. Then, once you come to eat said meal, here's another tip for you. If you don't have one of the extra long spoons, it can be annoying if you've just got a little spoon to get to the bottom of your camping meal. You end up burning your fingers and making a mess. So what you want to do, and I'm not going to do this now because it'll be a waste of this, I'm going to eat this for my dinner in a minute. You want to take your knife, it cuts really easily. Once this is cooked, you just slide your knife through here and then it opens up and you can just eat it with your little spoon or whatever you've got. You can even, and I've done it before, is use the top bit that you've cut off and sort of fold it and use it as a spoon to eat the rest of it. My energy levels have crumpled. Here he is. I keep having to move around because the light keeps coming down. Aeroplanes keep going over, mate. Down south, aeroplanes are a real thing. They're everywhere. I just want to tell people about my top 20 camping tips without having to stop every 2 seconds for an aeroplane. It's just circling me. It's like being in Gatwick Airport. Next tip, get yourself one of these rubble sacks from your hardware store, builder's merchant, wherever, mate, supermarket. One of the rugged ones, the heavy duty rubble sack, so you can carry like bricks in it and that. Very lightweight, very durable, and this is what I use as a cheap pack liner for a 48 litre backpack. You can get these in different sizes depending on the size of your backpack. It is perfect, it's durable, it's waterproof, and it's cheap. You can get a roll of them for a few quid, last you a lifetime. My next tip is, when you get into your sleeping bag of an evening, when you're doing your long distance hikes, take out your rubble sack and put your feet in it. Put this over the toe box of your sleeping bag. A lot of sleeping bags get wet at the toe end because they're in contact with your tent. So you get condensation on your tent, your toe box is rubbing on your tent, getting the condensation into it, and you end up with the bottom of your sleeping bag soaking wet. So just put this over the bottom end of your sleeping bag while you're asleep, and that'll stop that. Top tip. My next tip is invest in a folding Z-Lite camping mat. They used to be a lot cheaper back in the day. They have put their prices up, so there might be a cheaper alternative of the folding sleep mats. Get yourself one of them and cut it into 2 or 3 pieces. You can decide how long you want it, and then you've got 3 separate sit pads that you can fold away. It doesn't take up a lot of room in your backpack, and they're perfect as sit pads to stand on when you're getting changed. You can put it under your sleep mat so to stop you sliding around and give yourself a little bit of extra warmth around your organs area, or a bit of extra protection around your hip area. The next tip is this: hand warmers, specifically these ones. I've tried a few different ones and these ones work so well. So in winter, when you get to your camp, crack open a couple of these. So this has got 2 in it, and they're lightweight, they can slide down the back of your backpack. You can take a few of these and just chuck a couple of these into your sleeping bag before you go to bed, and overnight they'll just keep your feet warm, they'll radiate in your sleeping bag and keep it nice and toasty. You can even put them under your hat, in your gloves, in your pockets, just strewn them about the place, and they really do give you a comfortable night's sleep and give you a few extra degrees in your sleeping bag. That's a top tip. I'll leave a link for these below as well. I've gone to sleep with these in my sleeping bag, woken up in the morning and they're still warm, just to bring a little bit of life back into your hands, and it is a joy. Top tip. The next top tip, camping towels. Get yourself a little bit of camping towel, cut it into a square and wrap it around your gas canister and use that to go in and out of your camping mug. Over time, the bottom of your gas canister gets rusty and it transfers it to the bottom of your metal cup. And if you're using that sort of self-contained system, a little square of micro towel on the bottom of it, it slides in and out of the cup easier, and it means you won't get any rust on your cup. And you can also use it to dry up your stuff with. Next tip is ridgeline in your tent. Whichever tent you own, just get a little bit of Dyneema cord or paracord and string it up. If your tent allows, it should have little loops at either side. String up a bit of paracord inside your tent or inside your hammock. It really does make a difference to hanging over your torch, putting your socks up there after a hard day's hiking to dry out and air out. It really does make a difference, and it's a top tip. Just a little bit of paracord, make a ridge line in your tent or in your hammock. I've turned into a presenter now because Ed's gone and I can't be funny, so that's that. I'm really struggling. The next tip is earplugs. Show you a picture of some earplugs. Again, super lightweight, and you will not regret taking them. If you've ever been inside your tent, especially if you've got a DCF tent. It's hailstones. Listen to that, man. I'm just sat in Buffalo, look. It's absolutely nuts. Woohoo! It's like being inside a Monster Munch bag and you don't get any sleep. And doing long distance hikes, I think sleep is one of the most important things for your recovery and just for your mindset of tackling them big miles every day. You might want to have your hearing and have your wits about you if you're camping, but if you're doing long distance hikes, man, just earplugs in, done. Ignorance is bliss. If there's people just walking around outside your tent, you don't need to know about it, man. You just snooze it off. So earplugs, top tip, get a good night's kip. Another top tip is always have dry tent clothes. Just a pair of merino leggings, a merino base layer top and some dry socks. That's it, 3 items. And whatever you do on your long distance hikes, keep these dry. Get into your tent, all your clothes off, and then these 3 things can go on. In the morning, they come off into a dry bag, into your bag. And the mission is to keep these 3 items dry. They'll be amazing for morale. Trust me, I've been soaking on long distance hikes and there's nothing better than at the end of the day getting into some dry clobber and getting into your dry sleeping bag. Yeah. And there's all the nuggets. There's my top 20 nuggets that I've picked up as I've gone along my journey and found out through real time. So I hope some of them are useful to you. You might use some, you might not, but there you go. There's 20 nuggets, a 20 nugget pack for you to choose from. Lost my dog. Right, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Thanks to your granddad for use at Jumper. I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now. Bye! Come on, boy! What have I told you about sticks, mate? Not allowed them, because the internet says they're bad. This is it, look. Nimbus, sit. Good boy. Me paw. Good boy. And middle. There he is. Superstar. He's a superstar DJ. Look after yourselves. Bye for now. I mean, you want to sew these, don't you? You want to just sew these, but I made a promise. 2025, mate. New year, new me. Do you know what I mean? Quit drinking, exercise loads, cover up that patch with. It looks worse like that. Looks worse. See you later.